In this edition of our Work Now initiative, we're talking with Dr. Michael Nadorff from the Psychology Department at MSU. Dr. Nadorff, thanks for taking the time.
Thanks for having me on again.
You bet. We've been focusing on the need that local employers have to fill certain positions, and we thought it would be good to talk to you from a mental health perspective about maybe some of the challenges that people faced when jumping back into the workforce. Do you feel like anxiety could be a big part of it?
Oh, absolutely. And even if it's not something that you're particularly worried about, obviously if it is, then anxiety plays a role. But even if it's just something you haven't done in a long time, I think riding a bike, it's been a while since I've done it. But that's something I've known how to do for years. It's not a big deal to me. But getting back on a bike right now would be anxiety provoking. So anything that you haven't done for a while, anything that breaks your routine, can certainly add stress and anxiety.
Especially coming out of a situation like the pandemic where there was a lot of stress, I feel like, already. So throwing in change with that can sort of stack up that anxiety, I feel like.
Absolutely. And what we know about anxiety in general is the more we avoid anything, the more it builds anxiety and stress. And that's part of the reason why when you have a phobia and you avoid it, over years it gets much worse. So with that, we've been avoiding a lot of things, rightly so, appropriately so, for health concerns. But all that has just led to a breeding of anxiety that wouldn't have been there otherwise.
All right, and something we were talking about too in the break is that even if it's something positive, you can still get stressed out about it. Like getting a new job can still be exciting and fun, but when you go to do it, the change itself can stress you out.
Yeah, any change is stressful. Any change is always stressful. Good, bad, or indifferent. So, one of the most stressful things I've ever had to do is go through a wedding.
Right.
And it's a great thing. I'm very happy to do it, but it's very stressful. And so likewise, getting a new job, even if it's a big promotion, even if it's just a promotion within the same company, you have new challenges, new responsibilities. There's going to be stress and anxiety that goes with that.
Right, and going to the job interview, anytime you've got to sort of perform or be your best self, there's some anxiety that comes from that. Any tips on maybe ways that people can keep that stress from impacting their performance in a job interview?
Well, I think, it goes back to the old sayings with sports, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Job interviews are very much the same thing. Worst they can tell you is no, and if they tell you no, you're no worse off than you were if you hadn't done it all.
Right.
So take your shot. Why not? What's the worst thing that happens? And so that's the first thing. And if you can keep that in mind, and it's not all about this one interview, that's going to help you. The other thing right now is, honestly, as someone looking for a job, it's your market. Like this is the time when so many companies are hiring, so many companies want you. So you have more say and control over the situation than you've probably ever had in your lifetime.
Right.
So this is about the best time ever to be looking for a job.
Yeah, maybe something to help you have a little bit more confidence walking in there. And there are different levels, like you mentioned, to anxiety. Can it get to a point that it's debilitating? Can it get to a point where you need to seek out help and assistance?
Absolutely. And you don't have to be a psychologist to know when it is. Really the question is it interfering with your life or the lives of those around you? Because you may say, no, it doesn't interfere with my life, I just don't leave the house, but that may interfere with the lives of those around you. And if it gets to the point where it's having some impairment, certainly that's a good time to talk with someone, because there's so much we can do. Anxiety is one of the most treatable conditions that we have.
Right.
But sometimes it's just talking to someone to get you over that, I keep wanting to say cliff or ledge, that's wrong, but to get you to the next level.
Yeah, taking that first step.
Oh, absolutely. That's a great way to put it.
Dr. Nadorff, thanks so much for talking with us about it.
For sure.
Some good advice there. And we have more job-focused stories and opportunities on our website. That's WCBI.com.